All right, welcome everyone to another episode of the Super Podcast. This episode will be covering Batman v Superman, Zack Snyder's second entry into the Snyderverse, I guess we're calling it now, the DCEU. Initial thoughts on this movie?
My initial thoughts, the movie as a whole, I thought was kind of disappointing. That being said, I do like a lot of scenes in the movie, and all the potential was there for this movie to be great. It really was. It just didn't hit the mark exactly, but overall, I did like the movie. I thought it could be better.
I when we first saw this in theaters, Bill, I loved this movie. Like I didn't have anything wrong with it. But the more you watch, it's one of those movies where it's like, all right, you're kind of forcing yourself to love it. But I like it. It has great scenes, great action, and all that. But it did feel a little empty the more you watch.
So before we get into it, let's go back to in our Man of Steel episode. We talked about how crazy the hype was for this because it was the first Superman movie in a while. This I remember vividly. Like I remember where I was and everything when they released at the San Diego Comic-Con
I was going to mention that
the announcement of this movie coming out, and it was the guy who plays the General in Man of Steel, and they had him read a quote from Dark Knight Returns, and you hear in the crowd, like halfway through the quote, people start to realize what he's referring to, and then the whole room started to explode. 'Cause again, this was Comic-Con in 2014, so it's filmed on like a shitty iPhone, whatever at the time.
Shaky cam.
Yeah, like shaky cam. So you hear the room explode. I was going nuts. I was like, holy shit, we're going to get Batman.
Damn, I never saw that. I might have to see that video on YouTube.
It's awesome.
It's awesome. It chills every time I watched it.
He's like, I want you to remember the one man who beat you.
Yeah.
That whole speech
Yeah.
from Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah, so they did that, and then this was the most hyped movie of my entire life. Every week there was more rumors about, Nightwing's going to be in this, Doomsday's in this, now Wonder Woman's in this. We were talking about IMDb, but like
Robin's dead.
yeah,
like all
Robin's
that.
gonna be dead in this. We're gonna see Robin die and all this shit, and then the movie got delayed. Remember, it got delayed like 10 months. So it was the same thing they're doing with the Batman, the Robert Pattinson Batman now, where it's the trailer or like the news drops that it's coming out, and then oh yeah, and by the way, the movie's coming out in 3 years. Like,
Yeah.
so the wait for this movie took so long, and the casting kept coming out. And I remember the very first thing, maybe it's different for you guys, but the first thing that kind of brought me down to reality of what this movie might be is that when they announced that Jeremy Irons is Alfred, and I go, oh, great. That's awesome.
Yeah, he killed it.
He did kill it. And then they go, and Jesse Eisenberg is Lex Luthor.
Oh,
And I was like, what the fuck? All right, Ben Affleck as Batman's one thing. Okay, maybe I can kind of see that. Like, he's a big dude. And then Jesse Eisenberg, I'm like, what the fuck? Is it just going to be Mark Zuckerberg
Yeah,
as Lex Luthor? That's lame. And we'll get to that.
I remember
later,
I didn't like the Ben Affleck announcement.
I did not either.
I didn't like it at all.
didn't.
I was like, I think I made a couple tweets about it too. But then they released the first picture of him next to the Batmobile.
Yes,
And
the
I was
black and
like-
white.
I was like, all right, fuck it, I'm sold. I remember I was late to work the day that the first trailer came out. Just because I like pulled my car over, I'm watching this like 5 times.
Oh,
The trailer was so hype. But no, Batfleck is the best Batman, live action Batman we've ever gotten.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
At least like
For the most
appearances
part,
wise. Like
He portrays Batman
like Christian Bale's like 5'8", and like
No,
he's jacked.
He's like 6 feet.
Is he really? I
Yeah,
thought he was short.
No, he's not that short.
Oh, well, still Ben Affleck's like 6'3".
His presence is
Yeah, like he's like
insane.
Yeah, he's like towering. And
Yeah.
like, jacked.
And they do the portrayal of him in Dark Knight Returns, where he's not so much like finesse like Christian Bale's is.
Yeah.
He's just straight brute force.
Yeah, he's a bruiser.
He's a bruiser. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like basically an outside linebacker, just
Yeah.
punching dudes
Yeah.
to the point where like they're going through floorboards. and
Christian
shit.
Bale's 6 foot.
6 foot.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So it's tall enough. And Michael Keaton was like 5'9".
Yeah,
and like not
that's-
in that good of shape. But anyway, so instead of going through this movie from start to finish, because it is a 3-hour movie, we wanted to kind of break it down in terms of different segments, like what we liked, what we didn't like. So first, I wanted to talk about the fact that there are 2 cuts of this movie, and the big issue with the theatrical cut that we first saw is 2.5 hours, whatever. If there's subplots in there that don't trim them if they're not going to make sense once you trim it.
Mhm.
Like the
Right.
whole Africa storyline from the beginning makes no fucking sense in the original movie. and that because you're like, Superman's being framed. What is he being framed? Why would he be framed? They all got shot.
Yeah.
In the extended cut, you see them get like burned alive with a flamethrower.
Yeah.
And using like these experimental bullets that disintegrate. So obviously they could blame Superman. I'm like, okay, why cut that out if the whole plot of the movie is based on Superman getting blamed for killing the people in Africa?
Yeah.
So the cuts they made no sense. But they released the Ultimate Edition, which is 3 hours on the dot, which you guys know how I feel about long ass movies. But it all makes it.
Yeah.
A lot of it makes it like
more
makes
fluid.
A lot more sense. Yeah, it flows a lot better. All right, so now that we've established how important the Ultimate Cut is, the movie doesn't fully work, but there's enough in there to where like it doesn't fully meet expectations, but it's still really good. It's still good to really good. So do you guys want to talk about like your favorite parts, and then we'll talk about?
I just want to say too, this movie it could have been one of those movies like a Iron Man 2 or Iron Man, like one of those early Marvel movies that weren't that great initially. Not to say that I loved Iron Man 2 right away, but like they get better when you can look back on them and see what
they set up,
what it set up, and like
sure.
what came to fruition and what meant what. This movie, knowing what we know now about the Justice League, none of the shit they set up really meant anything, which is really like we're I'm sure going to talk about Batman killing people and how it's a problem, but I would be all about that if they ever went in and explained why he decided to start killing people.
And if they specify he didn't used to do this, but now he does.
Yeah. Right. If they say like this is an older Batman who changed, like even like they had the Robin suit there to say ever since Joker killed Robin, he snapped and decided he's not putting up with this shit anymore, and he's become
darker.
Darker and less caring about that stuff. And kind of cross that line. So I just think stuff like that, they're different, they're changed from like what we're used to with Batman, but it just add a little exposition to why that's happened. Like don't make me fill in those types of gaps.
Yeah, exactly.
Like all it takes is one line from Alfred to say, explain that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You don't even have to like film a flashback scene. Just give something.
Yeah. So some of the things that to me were awesome in this movie that did meet and exceed expectations, or I'll say like, first of all, the opening scene, which is like a flashback from Man of Steel, but seeing it from that movie from Bruce's perspective is brilliant.
Yeah,
that is
absolutely
incredible to add that in.
And
there.
Before we even like go into that, I think especially in superhero movies, the importance of the opening scene is like
it's huge.
It's fucking so big because.
But now that I'll correct, that's not the opening scene.
It's not.
Movie.
Yeah.
The opening scene
is when
movie,
he's his parents and stuff like that.
He has that nightmare too, where he falls. The bats lift him up.
Nah, for sure. But like what I'm saying is, like,
which is even I think better. Like not better, but I love that. Like it's introducing Batman to us. It's introducing that origin, but it's not. It's pairing it with the credits.
Yeah.
So it's not like commanding a full scene.
For sure.
It's just like there in the background and kind of just reminding you and reinstating that trauma he went to. So it kind of like explains the paranoia he has moving forward, the intensity, just reinstating his like mission as Batman.
And they did it better than, I think this is the best version of it, of his parents getting killed. But a funny thing, I took a note of this. Like I have two things that, because we've seen so many reboots of Batman, we've seen so many reboots of Spider-Man. There's two things that like I never need to see again. Like I never need to see Uncle Ben die again for a third time, and I don't need to see Batman's parents get shot in the alley with the pearls and everything.
Yeah.
And the fucking opening scene of this movie is like, it's like a slow motion version of the pearls dropping.
Yeah.
But visually, it is so good. And going off of that, I want to say the casting for his parents, for Bruce Wayne's parents, is awesome.
Isn't
I don't think that's a coincidence, because they're preparing that for like a Flashpoint movie at some point.
Yeah, because they're actual actors. Like, isn't Martha what's her name from Walking Dead?
Yeah,
Laura.
Oh, is she?
I haven't seen that in a while, but
yeah, that's cool. But yeah, just like we were just saying, the very opening scene, like the little montage of his parents dying. I thought it was so cool when he fell in the well and then he's getting raised up by the bats. Like that's symbolism. Like that's the best you can get right there. You know what I'm saying? His biggest fear brings him up, and obviously it turns out that's who he turns out to be. I caught a
quote in that I never really noticed before during this last rewatch. I wrote it down. I have opening credits, badass, great way of introducing Batman, Wayne's murder. And then while he's being lifted up by the bats, Bruce Wayne's like commentating over it. Like,
Yeah.
And he said, "The dream took me to the light, a beautiful lie."
Yeah.
So it's like, I feel like it's saying like he's endured a lot in his career as Batman. And now it's kind of like a curse that he has. Like, it's an obsession at this point.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I like that quote a lot.
Like he was thinking, like if he had died in that moment, then he would have been able to avoid like all the trauma that's come since. Like he would have just been able to go with his parents as a kid. Like, but instead of like, oh fuck, like I survived this. Now that set him on that path of going to be Batman. And
Kind of bit off more than he could chew.
Yeah,
Like,
took him to where he is now,
Mentally.
where he's murdering people left and right.
right.
So yeah, so the opening Man of Steel scene, it is fantastic. It is, you see,
Shout out the Jeep.
shout out to the Jeep,
Jeep
flying
was
through
the
the streets,
Renegade.
yeah, or whatever it is, yeah. Because you see Batman, he loses people that are close to him. That Jack guy who we don't, you never get to find out about him, but you see that there's the moment where he's flying through the city as Bruce Wayne, and then the one building crumbles. And everyone's running away from this giant cloud of
And
smoke
he's running
and debris,
towards
and
it.
he's running the opposite
I have
way
that
into
written
it.
down too.
It's the best visual for him. Like that's so him. Like that's like
Yeah.
everyone's like in fear getting away, and he's like I gotta go head on into this
Yeah.
horror. So
I thought it was kind of funny though when he calls that guy Jack. He's like, "Get out the building," and then he starts to leave. Like, you
Yeah.
wouldn't leave the fucking building right away. When
he's like, all right, the boss is telling us to leave. It's like, what kind of thumb do you have these people under? Where it's like,
If I saw an alien spaceship destroying the city and two aliens fighting, I'm getting out of that building so fast.
One way or the other.
Yeah. I just thought that was funny. Like,
Exactly.
he didn't leave until he was told. It's like,
Yeah.
bro, fucking leave that
and
building.
the best moment of that too is when he saves a little girl at the end.
Yeah.
Well, before that, he saves Wally, who remember he pulls up the guy's like, my legs, boss, I can't feel my legs.
Yeah.
There's a moment where he goes to pick up the thing. He's like, I need someone to pull him out, and then another guy comes up and helps him pick up the beam. I would have just had him like deadlift the beam up himself, just be like, oh wow, like Bruce Wayne's fucking strong.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
whatever.
it's that strong.
It's pretty fucking
Steel
strong.
beam under rubble.
Yeah,
I
dude.
mean,
Adrenaline.
I guess. I mean, after seeing his training montage later in the movie, I
Yeah.
guess he could make a point for that.
Yeah, I got a note on that.
I love the scene when he's like helping that little girl too. He's
She-
like, "Where's your mom?"
She points up and there's nothing there.
At the building that's like crumbling.
It's literally the top half's missing.
And then they
Yeah,
show
it's
his
crazy.
face and they kind of like zoom out and you just see the
He's anger.
anger.
Yeah.
Like it's not like remorse. It's not like it's angry. Like
yeah.
Yeah.
like you can tell that's where his hatred for Superman
Yeah.
literally begins.
And
Like,
I really like this, the opening scene with you see, like you said, Bruce Wayne's point of view of the fight, because you kind of like put yourself in those people's shoes, like in the city, like your whole city's falling down.
Literally falling
And
down
everyone's
around you.
looking up, like at them fighting,
Yeah.
going through the buildings, and there's just like smoke all around. Like, honestly, dude, it kind of reminded me of like 9/11. Like
Oh,
you're
yeah,
looking
but it's
up,
very
like
similar to it,
all these
yeah.
buildings are falling, like there's dust everywhere. Like I try to put myself in their shoes, like this would be fucking crazy.
And
Like
you
mayhem.
have
Yeah.
no context at the time. Too. You just see you literally just look
Yeah.
up and you see two dudes flying,
Yeah.
throwing each other. You're
Yeah,
like,
yeah, there's no news coverage
There's no-
like
yeah,
saying
yeah.
what's going on.
because it's all at so spur of the moment. You're
Yeah.
like, what the fuck is
Probably
happening?
all happened in
Yeah.
like a 15-minute time span,
Yeah.
real time.
Yeah, within real time, it happens so quickly. 'Cause he just throws him through like
This-
15 different
This
buildings.
Yeah.
movie not only would have benefited from better movies following it, I think it would have benefited from a Man of Steel, a proper Man of Steel sequel.
Yeah,
Just
definitely.
to kind of, first of all, the title's Batman versus Superman. So I think it would have given the fans to like attach themselves more to Superman and kind of, pick a side going in. Not pick a side, but like, you know more about him. You know
Mhm.
more. Don't just make Batman versus Superman the second movie in your
That's-
universe.
and
Like
w-
that's
yeah.
it's such a big like that's a milestone movie that you work to get to. You don't just
Exactly.
like you have to earn that movie.
You do.
You have to set that up.
yeah,
Yeah.
And
can't rush it.
I don't have
Totally
a
agree.
problem with there not being a solo Batman movie because we just came off of the Nolan trilogy and
like
Mhm.
4 years before.
there's enough
yeah.
Batman content out there where we didn't really need that, and they integrated it well. And even if there is a Man of Steel sequel, you can still have the same opening scene of Bruce Wayne running
Yeah.
into the Zod Superman fight and that still works. That should still happen and it's still like a catalyst for this whole fight. I just think there should have been a Man of Steel movie in between.
It definitely would have benefited the franchise as a whole, for sure.
Yeah, because you get from that one opening scene, you get why Batman's pissed and he wants to take down Superman. But you really don't kind of, especially, you do more, again, that's why the Ultimate Edition's so important, because you kind of see Clark go over to Gotham and kind of see how Batman's perceived. You know, half the people there love him, half the people see him as literally a devil. So he kind of like resents it a little bit, but it just doesn't totally click of why he would want to fight Batman.
Well, that's because
outside of like, kill him because your mom, he has your mom. Like, it should have been more. That animosity should have been like clearer.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't establish
like a better reason for Superman.
Yeah,
I feel like they didn't do a good job of establishing what Clark's morals are, like his character, like you know, where is he now? Like, is this like right after Zod and all that, he's going to go take on Batman? When every single time, I have this written down too, I love it, that every time he like goes into Gotham or starts asking questions about Batman, people warn him to like, yo, be careful, like don't go picking fights with this guy. Obviously they don't know he's Superman, but it's just like, you know, it's being pressed on him like, this guy is bad news, like this isn't justice, especially. And then we get into the whole Bat branding thing, which I absolutely love, the Bat brand. I love that side, like that little subplot type thing.
I have some thoughts on that.
Where he's judge, jury, and executioner.
First of all, this movie takes place 2 years after Man of Steel.
Okay.
Just to provide a little context. So I guess like Batman's been sitting on this for 2 years. Yeah. I guess you can say building up. And then you kind of get a little context as to what Superman's been up to. Like, obviously he's living with Lois Lane now. He's been saving the world. Like, he saves, like, he pulls that ship out and
establishes himself at the planet, Daily Planet.
But you see, one thing I do like is how they show all the news clippings of showing like
the back and forth.
Yeah, the back and forth of like they bring Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Yeah,
in,
I
love that montage. I have that written down.
Dude, I think that montage is one of the best scenes in the movie. Like,
well, it's great.
Really good, yeah.
It's great how they keep showing like Superman saving people. That might be on my next page. I got so many. Like the shipwreck where he's like dragging it by the anchor. That's awesome. What else was there? The rocket. The rocket that explodes, and then he's holding it. You got that scene of him holding it.
The one where he saves the little girl from the fire in Mexico, and then he like drops her down, and all the people surround him. I thought that was fucking.
Yeah,
that was sick.
I have that written down too.
There's one of the people. There's the flood, and they paint the Superman symbol.
Yeah, that was cool. That's what I'm saying. Like that whole little montage was awesome.
Yeah, that's great.
Cool.
And then you got all the reporters talking over it,
saying like, "Is this guy really like for the best thing for our planet?" So he has like this. Because people complain like, "Oh, that montage, Superman just looking sad the whole time." It's like, yeah, because he knows even though he's doing this, he's still going to get shit of like from the perception of him still terrible, even though like that individual people like appreciate him what he does in the moment. But then what he goes he's like, once I go back home and turn the TV on, I got fucking Anderson Cooper like questioning my every move, like
for sure.
But I like that scene a lot because it ties in, doesn't tie in, but kind of pays homage to the Dark Knight Returns book, which this movie is loosely based off of. Where the whole thing starts with the reporters on TV. Like, remember the dude to go on wearing like a Superman shirt, the doctor, the psychologist, and they're all debating like they're mostly debating the Joker, but like it was a big part of that book is like the TV segments, like the
I think
Joker ends up killing them all, but
I think in this movie they did even more than Man of Steel. Like they made him more seem like a godly figure. Like when he comes down to save these people, he's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it looks like he's like an angel coming from the heavens.
Yeah, I guess that he literally comes from the sun.
Yeah,
like,
and exactly. Yeah. And then the whole it's kind of like the theme of the movie. Jesse Eisenberg's like he says that like with the paintings, like the real gods or the real devils come from the sky. Like it's dope how they made that whole theme.
I'm so angry you took that from me. That's one of my favorites.
I love
that line. I love that line.
And then the music starts playing. That was a
He's
good.
Like, we know better now, don't we, Senator?
Yeah.
All right, so let's get into some issues to have with this movie because. I think like for the first 90% of it, until he just kind of loses his mind at the end, the words that are coming out of Lex Luthor's mouth make sense to me. Like, they're compelling. Like if I learned as a kid, if God is all powerful, then he can't be all good.
I love that line.
And if he's all good, then he can't be all powerful. So that means you can't. There's no way that this guy who just came from the heavens basically is all good and a
good
god.
Intentions. Yeah,
you get one or the other. And then he also said he has a line about
ultimate power can't be innocent or something.
Something like that, yeah. And the quote you said about devils from the sky or whatever. And then he has a line where he says something about having a silver bullet, like something
like a backup plan.
Yeah,
that's what he was saying. Pretty much.
It's just a deterrent.
Yeah, giving you a silver bullet. I fucking forget the line, but whatever. Everything he's saying, I'm like,
it makes sense.
That makes sense. Like, I get why you'd resent this all powerful figure. Maybe you're afraid of him. Maybe you're jealous of his power or whatever. But his delivery is fucking so bad on it. Like, why did you make that choice? We could offer some alternate casting on this, but why would you have him be like the stuttering, like awkward,
quirky,
like
Silicon Valley, like Silicon Valley tech starter?
Like if you just took at the time, I guess like Bryan Cranston's too on the nose because he was just coming off of Breaking Bad. Like, if you took like that stern guy, and I get this is Lex Luthor Jr. or whatever, this is his son, this is the son. But if you just took a guy who like could stand there in front of Superman and is like, I don't trust you, I think you're full of shit. But instead, he's wacky and like all this bullshit, and he's always like on the verge of crying and all this shit. And I'm just like, why would you? It's distracting. Like it's so fucking. It's such a weird choice.
Yeah.
Like,
well, that brings me to my first least favorite thing about this movie is the fucking Jolly Ranchers.
What's with the fucking Jolly Rancher?
Dude, he eats them so weird, and he's poking the one guy's mouth.
Yeah.
Like, dude, is this an intimidation tactic, or are you just trying to make me uncomfortable?
Before that, when he's in like they're in like the Silicon Valley type like thing, and they're playing basketball, and he nails a jumper in chucks and jeans. I'm like, no way that awkward ass dude's nailing that three right there. Like,
I've seen you hit a couple threes.
All right, we'll edit this out.
And then Jimmy Olsen, I wrote rest in peace, 2015 to 2015. Just like, all right, you're gonna give us Jimmy Olsen. First of all, he looks, he's like
a gruff military.
Yeah, like he's like his own character. Like he's not Jimmy Olsen where he's like a nerdy like sidekick type.
No, this Jimmy Olsen in name only.
Yeah, Jimmy Olsen in name only, and then he dies immediately. Which
shot in
why?
That felt like a statement from Zack Snyder.
Well, and there you go. Like, but then they expect people to care about that. When if we had a Man of Steel 2, maybe you do introduce Jimmy Olsen and people like him, and then maybe you find out people really like him and you don't kill him off, or you find out people really like him and you kill him off and you get that emotional response you wanted with that scene.
Yeah.
Otherwise, now it's just a random reporter who got shot in Africa. Okay.
Yeah. Again, that Africa subplot makes so much more sense in the extended version, where it's like you see there's an actual plan to frame Superman. You get why he has to answer for that in court.
Yeah.
And then, but instead, like you see that like the I forget what her name. I don't even know if they give her a name, but like the African lady who has to like, you see eventually that she was just paid by Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
So she goes like she has a change of heart, and then when she's on her way to the courthouse, like the Russian dude like pushes her in front of the train. I don't think that's in the original version.
It's not.
So like that subplot just dropped.
Yeah, it's honestly like watching it the first time. I was confused. I was like, why is Superman like he didn't do that shit?
Why is he on trial?
Yeah.
And he's saving American citizens.
And then she continues to say that like they burned to death like her family, and then I was like, there was no fire like in that besides that explosion, but he blew it up above their heads and stuff. I was so confused. And then clearly it makes more sense now when you see the next version.
But that brings us to like the whole Superman trial, where like another main theme of this movie is like, who does he answer to?
Yeah.
Like, does he answer anyone? She says, I don't even think he answers to God.
Yeah.
Because he like saying that he thinks he is a god and all
above
this.
everyone.
And then that, gets us into the scene with Wally. I love when he vandalizes the Superman statue and says false god.
Yeah, that was awesome.
It's just like that theme of like him being viewed as a god. I love that.
No, I think it's
parallel.
an awesome theme for sure.
And he's like, well, yeah, this guy saved the city, but he also dropped a fucking beam on my legs.
Yeah.
So again, you see it from a different
his wife left him.
Like,
his wife left him, lost his job. Yeah. And then it goes into now Lex picks off Wally, to cleans him off, gives him that cool new wheelchair with that evidently has a bomb in it.
Yeah.
And that stages the whole Senate hearing. Superman gets there, bomb goes off. Superman notices it as it goes off, like not enough time to do anything about it because
got the lead.
Yeah.
You find out that the thing was made of lead, which by the way they don't talk about in the first movie. So she goes,
wait.
She goes, oh, it's made of lead. That's he couldn't see it there, and I'm like, when did you establish the lead that
the wheelchair was made of lead?
Yeah, that's why I couldn't see the bomb.
Oh, I thought he was just like I thought he was just distracted. Like he was just like
That's what he
sidetracked.
thinks.
Yeah.
That's he goes. He says, "I'm afraid
I wasn't looking for the.
He's like, I'm afraid I didn't see it because I wasn't looking for it. I was so caught up in like my own head." But then they just see, to me that's better than it was.
So it was case and lead.
Yeah, he did. She
No, I like
Lois
that.
Lane has a phone call about it.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, but that's never established before. Like, how does she even know? Like, first of all, why can't Superman see through lead?
X-rays can't go through lead.
It's literally just extra. That's it.
Well, I mean, that's the reasoning behind it. Like, if you get an X-ray, they put that lead vest on you, so it can't get through it. It blocks out X-rays, and it's X-ray vision. So it's
it's literal X-ray vision. I didn't even think of that.
well, I mean, I don't know if it's literal, like if it works the same way, if it's radiation or not.
No,
but,
you might
like,
be. You might be right. Actually, I like you got to. I never thought about that until now.
That's why it's always been lead.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. See.
Yeah, but the wheelchair was laced in lead or built in lead.
Yeah.
She said.
Case in lead.
Yeah.
Again, explain that in the like whatever.
Well, that doesn't have to be explained. Lead has been Superman's counter X-ray thing for centuries. Not centuries.
Yeah.
Decades.
Close to a century, I guess, at this point. But yeah, so there's the bathtub scene where Clark comes home, and Lois is like, "Look, I believe you, but like, why does this look so bad on the media?" Like, she's like, "Help me understand," whatever, and he talks her through it, and then they basically fuck in the tub or whatever, and it's like this whatever nice scene, and then it cuts to Bruce Wayne coming into the Batcave, and he's all business. So I love it. It shows that parallel or that contrast of where their heads are at.
Yeah, for sure.
Superman's like, "Don't worry, I don't care what the media says. Like, things are fine." Then he gets naked in a tub and he's like having a good time with his wife or girlfriend or whatever. And then it smash cuts to Bruce Wayne. He's like, "All right, Alfred, we need to figure out how to kill this man." Like, so you see where their heads are. Like, one's like business, like all business minded, and the other one's like kind of carefree, like, "Oh, whatever, things will work out."
Jeremy Irons might be one of my favorite parts of this movie.
He's excellent.
He kills it. He says, like just the snarkiness he gives to Bruce. He's like, "Even you got too old to die young, not for lack of trying."
Yeah.
And then another one where he's like, Bruce is like talking to some girl or like he's going to meet someone. Oh no, he got invited to Lex's party, and Alfred says, maybe well, I have it written down. I wrote it down.
He says, maybe you'll find someone special, and then he's like, Alfred, I'm. What'd he say? He's like, it's too good to be true or some shit like that.
Yeah, he's like, don't get in your
don't get too excited.
Yeah.
Basically, what he was saying.
But you see that,
and then two, when he's talking to Bruce about Superman, he said like that whole quote of like the feeling of powerlessness that turns good men cruel. Mm-hmm. Like just I don't know, his delivery of it is perfect. He
killed it,
and then he's
his role.
He's chopping that wood too. He looks like a badass.
Oh yeah.
I like the through line of like you see him constantly have that concern over Bruce. Basically says like, "You don't have a wife at this point. Like he's like, you're again not for lack of trying about death and that kind of thing." So you see that he has that care for him of like he wants him to start a family.
Yeah.
But at the same time he's like indebted to him or whatever. Like he has to help him be Batman. But at the same time he's like he just wants him to not be Batman anymore.
Which is how Alfred always is.
Yeah.
I mean, even
even
in the Nolan verse, you got that Good Will Hunting scene from Michael Caine. It's kind of the same thing,
So I have a let's see. Do you guys want to talk about Lex again? Because I got more.
I want to talk about the first Batman scene when he's in that empty house with the sex traffickers and the cops go in. They see him in the corner.
Oh yeah.
The first time we see Batman, that was so awesome. It was very like Batman Year One esque, where like the kind of cops are hunting him down. He's in like an abandoned house, and then yeah. I love that.
The young rookie shooting at him.
Yeah.
I like when he Batman like faces the other direction of the room and he turns around and shoots. He almost hits his partner. He's like, Jesus.
Love it.
So that takes us to that's the first time we see the Bat branding.
Love it.
Where Batman is setting up. So I was a little confused about this on my last viewing because Batman brands these guys. And when they go to jail, that's like a sign that they have to get murdered.
Yeah.
So, but you see KG Beast. KG Beast is the Russian.
Yeah.
You see him set up getting the one guy killed in jail.
Shanking.
Yeah,
Like they have that, like they pass the shank around.
Yeah. So like that frames Batman. But then they also say that like 35 guys that Batman has branded were brutally killed in jail. So either that, like my question is like, did Batman not know that was happening until 35 in? Like, what's the whole thing a setup to make Batman look bad? Like,
whether it's a setup or not, they're getting killed in jail. I don't know. I don't
but
think it
yeah, but I'm saying,
matters
was
to-
it intentional on Batman's side?
Yeah, like why else would he brand them?
Like, why else did he brand them? And then, even if it's a setup, like, how do you not notice for
I think it's
6
just.
months that this has been happening?
I think it just adds to the brutality of this Batman we're getting.
So you're saying it is intentional? Like, he wants
I
them
don't
to
think
get killed
I
in
don't
prison?
think it's intentional for them to get killed in prison. I think it's intentional to like strike fear in these criminals. Like, now you're branded with this bat. Like, I got your number now. Like, don't forget this interaction you had with me because I'll come back and do it again. Like, it's kind of
No,
like
but
I know and then
everyone he puts it on goes to jail.
yeah, and they get back. It's Gotham City. They get out of Blackgate.
No, they don't, because they get like
They get killed.
brutally
But
murdered.
I'm saying
yeah.
the reason he started it, I don't think was a death sentence. Because they're not all like child, like everyone else in jail is probably doing the same crimes as these guys. They just got caught by the cops and not Batman. So why would he think that would immediately get them killed? They're not like rapists or like, you know, like the people, child molesters who do get attacked in prison and need to be protected. I think he did it just as like marking them, like just like so they don't forget him.
Yeah, it's a deterrent. Yeah,
Because Batman overall, like his superpower, I'm using quotations, is fear. Like fear and theatrics. So the more he scares these criminals, the more cautious they're going to be and think twice about doing things.
yeah. I just don't think it was clear of.
I was kind of confused.
Yeah,
about the
It's
whole thing,
open ended
too.
for sure. I don't know.
My
But
thing
yeah.
is like, why would a bat brand make someone want to kill that person?
that's
You know
what I mean.
I'm
It's
saying?
like they could have got branded for doing like petty thefts. Like why are you killing him now? Like
Yeah, can you imagine if you're just moving boxes for the Penguin and all of a sudden Batman sets you up for because they say like he's acting as judge, jury, and executioner.
yeah.
yeah.
That's
But
like
I think
the whole contra
I think
behind
that's indirectly though. I don't think that's by his design.
Okay. Yeah,
Because
I can see it either way. I mean,
Because that's a whole loophole. Not that it matters in this movie, we'll get to, but that's a whole loophole in him not killing people. Like, all right, maybe
Except
he didn't kill him directly.
he kills a lot.
Well,
of
in
people.
this one, I'm saying, but like,
No, let's talk
but
about
so I'm
that.
saying in this one, he doesn't have problems with killing people. So why wouldn't he just kill them on the spot instead of letting them go and get murdered in prison?
That's a good segue. So, Norm, we'll start with you. What do you think about this Batman being a vicious murderer with a body count of like, I don't know, 50 maybe?
He got a lot of bodies in this movie. I've always liked the darker superhero movies, and that's why I like the comics, because it's a little darker as well. But at this point, like the way they set it up, he's older, like, and like they imply that he's been through some shit. So I do like it.
You don't mind it?
Nah, and again, it's not like he's murdering fucking nice people. These guys are fucking bad guys, but.
Yeah.
It does like make you think that, because his whole thing is he doesn't kill people, and then this movie clearly doesn't go by that.
I love that layer of Batman where it's like he's the guy who can't kill anyone because he has that inner pact with himself that I'll never put another child through like losing their parents kind of thing. So I always love that, and I also just love from like a filmmaking standpoint of like you're gonna have him go through that warehouse scene. It looks awesome. He kills like 15 dudes. You know how much more cool that would be like if he took them all out but somehow managed to not kill any of them.
Yeah,
Like it adds a whole layer of like complexity to his approach to it that I think is so cool. Like
For sure.
in the Arkham games where it's like, damn, you cleared a room of 30 dudes with guns and they're all gonna live. Like how the fuck did he do that?
Well, it's
Like,
because this movie, like Batman's supposed to be a surgeon, not a butcher. Like they use the same tools, but one's more precise with them. Like
this Batman's a butcher.
this Batman's a butcher.
Yeah.
Like it's a little less finesse, a little less care, but it's like I said, if they just explained why he's doing this.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
maybe after this movie, after seeing Superman, after seeing like the
After he
hope that
gets his
Superman
humanity back, yeah.
after he gets his humanity back, he's like, what did I do? And now moving forward, he has to deal with that.
Yeah.
Like-
Now he's back to his old way.
Yeah, and he's holding himself accountable.
You just have
like-
to. You have to have a lot, like one line in there.
Yeah,
just
Give
in
me
a
an
3-hour
explanation.
movie. If you can't fit one line, that
Dude,
says,
and all
like,
the pieces are there. Like I said, the Robin statue, like he's literally has the monument up in his
Yeah.
Batcave. He walks past every day. Just say, I haven't been the same since this.
Yeah.
That's it.
yeah.
And
I
you need to
haven't
do.
been the same since 7 words. 7 words.
You don't even have to do it on screen. You can have Ben Affleck do it over his phone and record it. that takes me back to like the Zack Snyder point we made in the Man of Steel episode where it's like, oh, this is gonna look so cool. Like you didn't
Yeah.
think that final step into it to like make this like that much better of like of a well written movie.
Yeah.
Like, just add that one little layer of like, it just feels like an oversight.
And I was giving him the benefit of the doubt too, because the first time he does kill in this movie is that car chase where he's trying to get the kryptonite from Lex.
Dude,
and
he kills the fuck
yeah,
out of
you
the
see
guy.
people. I'm like the first guy drives into like a tanker truck, explodes, and I'm like, all right, well, that wasn't Batman's fault. And then he starts shooting missiles. He starts shooting missiles at people. I'm like, maybe they survived. He's smart enough to know where to hit the car and like all this shit. And I'm like making excuses for him. And then we get to the warehouse, and I'm like, oh, maybe he
No,
did
not
kill
even that, bro.
those guys.
The same like chase scene. He's chasing a car and they like take the top off and they got like a big ass machine gun and he just like deletes that car, bro. Like straight up, just
like shaves off the top of that.
Dude, they were
trailer.
dead as fuck.
he literally, again, like you said, disintegrates the car. He basically chops in half with a machine gun and then drives through
and
it.
then drops them and blows
Yeah.
up. It's like, bro, like,
I'm like, maybe he knows they got out.
Not only do you have Batman like kill people, you went out of your way to show that like
he brutally is murdering these people.
yeah, you kill the fuck out of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it also it adds like a level of skill to him too, because a lot of the missions and stuff he undertakes, it's a lot harder
You're not shooting people.
not killing people. Like it's like and a lot of times too, you see him like go out of his way to even prevent bad guys from dying.
Yeah.
Like, so it just adds to that.
And it's even crazier because like he's using bullets. Like that was his thing. He never uses a gun, and now he's got a machine gun attached to his car.
He ended up using it as like a tracker thing. But that scene starts with him on top of the crane, which is an awesome shot.
Yeah.
Holding a fucking gigantic sniper
Hunting rifle.
Hunting rifle. I'm like, come on. The two Batman like the two things that make Batman Batman.
Yeah, but that's also from The Dark Knight Returns, that long rifle.
Yeah.
He used it as like a grapple.
He obviously used it as like a tracking
So it's just
beam
a
or whatever.
vision. It's just a
The
visual
is cool.
comparison to the book, which is, sweet. Yeah. They do touch on that movie a lot. They give that movie.
Yeah.
They do that justice, I think.
Yeah, but overall, I mean, I'm cool with him killing people if they just like we all just said, just give us an explanation or something like that.
Yeah.
Like why is he doing it?
Exactly. One more thing on Lex that I want to go back to, but like there's a moment where he delivers that speech
At the party.
At the party.
It's cringeworthy.
Dude, he's given the worst speech of all time at his own party.
Yeah.
And you make me think, like, this guy's supposed to be like, I know he inherited the company from his dad or whatever, but he's supposed to be running a he's supposed to be like an Elon Musk, like running
smart as fuck,
fucking, like running a $1 trillion company. And he gives the worst speech of all time.
Yeah.
Where he's like, like he's literally having a mental breakdown.
The crowd's like falling asleep.
Yeah, the crowd's like, is this guy okay? And I'm like, how does this guy succeed in
He
any
starts
business?
rambling,
In any business setting. Like, he's a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
Like, and maybe he's putting on an act, but I don't think he is.
Yeah, I think a lot of that can be passed off to he's going crazy with his obsession with Superman because it's starting to begin.
Could be, I guess.
I don't know. But then Lex introduces Clark and Bruce at the party.
Yeah.
Which is
and that's
great.
the other thing. Like he was the one that like found out about all their identities, right? Like, so does he know at that point? Like,
I don't think he knows about Batman.
No,
Or Superman.
he knows about Batman at the end.
At the end.
Yeah.
The very
Right.
end, yeah. But even that, like you have Lex Luthor introducing Batman and Superman together for the first time. If you just have like a stern guy,
it would have been so cool
with conviction, be like, "Oh, Bruce Wayne, meet Clark Kent." Instead, he's like, hello, gentlemen. How are we doing? Oh,
Strong
good."
handshake. I wouldn't start a fight with this guy.
Yeah, Jesus Christ! Like,
dude,
maybe it's directing, maybe it's just his choice of performance. But like, why did you go that route?
I don't
Like,
understand that.
It's distractingly bad.
Yeah.
And like, not often do I say it's distract. It's like
And
so
the hair
bad.
is
that I'm
bad.
like, yeah, and you gave him the stupidest haircut. I don't get it.
Are we we're still going like chronological order, or are we talking about the party now?
I think we should. I think let's go around and say our 3 favorite things.
Yeah.
But let's just run them off and not go into them yet.
Yeah. Top 3 favorite
All
things
right.
about the movie.
My
just rattle them off.
top 3 favorite things.
I got mine too.
Obviously, Batman warehouse scene.
Yeah, that was
Love
dope.
that.
That was dope.
That's just amazing.
We might have the same answers, but go on.
Lex's party that we just talked about was one of my favorite scenes.
Oh, really?
I love like Clark and Bruce meeting, and then Bruce is like, it's the Gotham City and me where we have a bad history with freaks dressed like clowns.
Yeah,
I love that. And then I have the Batman Superman fight. I just like well, I love the back and forth that they do, and then there's that. Batman shoots him with the kryptonite grenade, blows up in his face. He gets weak. Batman's beating the shit out of him, wears off, and then his punches stop hitting Superman, and you just see that
you
like
see
oh
him,
shit look in his face.
Yeah.
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 And then
he says, "Oh shit," doesn't he?
and then
He says so shit later. When he's
Yeah.
about to get
that's
blown up.
later
Oh,
with
yeah, okay.
Doomsday, and then his mask gets like cracked, and the voice modulator is like going
haywire.
off,
Yeah.
and it's just like it sounds so cool. I think that was a good touch. And then when he's like dragging Superman by the cape, and he just like brutally throws him over that like
Oh, like the
Mhm.
railing.
Yeah.
That was a good scene.
Norm, top 3.
I think my top 3 scenes are definitely the Batman's or Bruce Wayne's perspective when they're fighting in the city. I love that scene. I love like just a little bit more in that, like just the little things, like you see the bunch of little kids walking through the smoke, and they're like doing the buddy system, grabbing on each other. It's just the teacher trying to keep them calm. Like,
Yeah.
that's deep.
That
Wow.
hits, yeah.
Yeah.
It really does.
So I would say that scene. I like the party scene as well. I definitely could have been a little better, but I mean, it was still cool seeing them get introduced.
Mhm.
And then I like the one. It's just like one little like line, but it's when he's about it before he fights Superman. He's in like his old, like the abandoned Bruce house that's on the property still, and he was talking to Alfred, and he's like, I was talking to my dad, and he told me what the original Waynes were. Like, they were hunters. I was like, damn, that's fucking sick. Like, and Alfred thought they were like, he was like, it was railroads and shit like that. He's like, nah, we were hunters. Like, that was dope.
Yeah.
I thought it was a cool scene. But I would say those are probably my 3.
Yeah. So mine were the opening Man of Steel scene is probably my favorite. The warehouse scene, if you just visually it's the best in the movie, but if you just somehow added that layer of him like not killing any of them, but it's just awesome to look at.
not painting the walls red.
Yeah, literally. And I have the nightmare scene as one of my top.
Really?
That's
You
a good
do?
scene.
Mm-hmm.
Which one?
Obviously we're going to see a lot more of it in the
The dark side.
Snyder cut. Yeah,
The parademon scene.
yeah, the parademons. So where
Really?
the opening of where so Batman is getting he thinks he's getting the kryptonite, and then he kind of gets like double turned, and that to me was part of the nightmare, is the fact that he let his guard down and let himself get fooled like that. Like, because he's the most prepared guy in the world.
Mm-hmm.
For him to just like take their word for it is like, oh yeah, I'll walk into this dark room and trust that you can like, he would never do that in the real world. So
And
like
trap myself, corner myself.
He basically cornered himself, yeah. And then you see him fight off all the soldiers, and he eventually gets overrun. And then the scene where Superman is like, "You took Lois away from me. That was all I had." And then he fucking kills Batman, and then he wakes up. I know they're gonna expand on that in the new movie, but
I have a
that was
note. I have a
awesome.
note on that scene too, which I always thought the nightmare was kind of like a foreshadowing of Darkseid, but after watching it again, I'm like, Darkseid isn't what he's afraid of here. It's Superman.
Yeah,
Superman's his fear right now. Like, that's what he's afraid of right now. And then I also thought it was awesome too how, there's Batman has his own like followers, like his own gang, like they're working for him, and then Superman has his minions that are wearing like the S patch, the shield patch. Batman kills the parademons. I thought was awesome, and then it's just like, this is kind of like adding Justice League War to Dark Knight Returns.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought it was
very similar.
Yeah, with the parademons and all.
All right, do you guys want to go through? Do you have something else?
No, let's go through the least favorite.
Yeah. So all right, so those are our 3 favorites that make this movie awesome. Now the 3 things that I kind of make this movie a little nonsensical at points. So I guess I'll start with mine. My least 3 favorite things were, 1, revealing the Justice League through fucking email attachments was so ridiculous to me. Why even? You don't have to include them in the movie.
No.
That could be the post credits.
I mean, the title. Don't forget, the title is Dawn of Justice.
It shouldn't be that. My point is, it shouldn't be that. This movie should have nothing to do with setting up the Justice League until like the very end. Like,
yeah, just having Wonder Woman alone is enough.
Yeah. So, revealing the Justice League through email attachments and files. The Batman. You said it was one of your favorites. The Batman Superman fight, I think, was very, very disappointing.
You think so?
Underwhelming. We can get into it.
I thought it was disappointing too.
And then the save Martha thing, I don't hate it as much as the average person does, but it's not the best way to conclude that.
No.
But I guess other than that, so I'll combine that with the other one, and then my main flaw of this movie is the Lex Luthor portrayal.
Yeah.
It fucking killed it. It takes me out of it every time.
Yeah, it definitely dampens it and takes away a lot of the severity of it with like his forced jokes. It's just bad.
Because what he's like, even the moments where he's like, he's showing Superman that he's like, I have your mother kidnapped. That should be awesome. He's like, I got this little timer thing. Like you got 60 minutes to go figure it out. His whole plan, like even though convoluted, does eventually work out where he gets Batman and Superman to fight each other.
All right, you got to chill out because now you're just stepping on my toes here.
All right, my bad.
All right.
We'll see what you got. But anyway, the way his lines are great, but the delivery of them just takes it out.
All right, so my least favorite things are, I already talked about the Jolly Ranchers. It's just so weird.
Weird.
And it's not intimidating at all. It's just stupid. Actually, these are all... I'll tie this one with the first one. The grandma's iced tea thing. Like,
Granny's
that he
peach
does
tea.
Yeah,
Yeah.
grandma's peach tea, like that he does with the senator.
Yeah.
I'm
You
like,
don't
this is stupid too. Like, what does this even...
Yeah,
I kind of honestly like that setup because they were talking.
I get what
about
he's
it.
trying to say. It's like Superman's portraying himself as like a good guy, but you're gonna find out it's piss. Like it's nothing. Like it's not. It's just a facade. And then I have shit. This one's Lex Luthor related too. Like you said, when he's basically strong arming Superman to go to save Martha or fight Batman or do both. I'm like, dude, you're Superman. You don't have to take this shit from this twerp. Like, fucking grab him by his neck. Just don't kill him. Like, just to that point, scare the shit out of him and have your way. Like, you have...
Yeah, but I think he was at the point where he had no fear.
Yeah, but he doesn't have to
of death.
kneel to him. And then Lex was like, God's kneeling to me now or something.
Well, he dropped the pictures and he like knelt down to see him more. But I mean,
Yeah, it
I
was
get what
more-
you're
Yeah,
saying.
supervision.
I mean, dude, I don't know. I get what you're saying, but
Yeah, it wasn't bowing to him. But there was a funny little moment when he's on his knees and then
He
like
pets him.
no, but the thing is he doesn't though. He like puts his hand like right around his head but never actually makes contact. And I'm like, damn, even he's like respecting how good that hair is.
And I also have not so much that Superman dies, it's how he dies. I feel like that's that could have been avoided. Like Wonder Woman was perfectly capable of going in.
I thought that the first time, but she lassos him and she's holding him back. Batman hits him from afar with the gas thing.
Yeah.
And so those two things combined gave Superman like that one
Window.
that one small window to get in there and stab him.
You don't think he could have javelin tossed it right at him?
Well, no, because remember it didn't even go through all the way when he
He had to like keep
lowered
going.
it. Yeah,
he had to
push
do it
himself.
twice.
Yeah.
So he does it. He gets stabbed.
So you
and
think
his-
he was the
with
only
his
one?
final breath, like kind of.
You think he was
more.
the only one able? Or even if
Yeah.
he, what if he? I
Wonder
mean, I know,
Woman could not have done that.
they weren't really able to like strategize, but he could have passed it to Wonder Woman, and then he could have like held down Doomsday.
No, but he couldn't because
He was next to the kryptonite. He would have been weak.
All right then.
it made sense the way
I
they
kind of
did
like
it.
the way he died. Yeah,
Okay.
but
But again, don't do the death of Superman in this movie. You don't do that 2 movies in.
Well, that brings me to my next one. Doomsday does not need to be in this movie.
No,
It's Batman versus Superman. Like Doomsday is a whole separate movie they could have made. That could have been Man of Steel 2.
could have been.
That could have been Man of Steel 2. And
No, it
add
could've
more
been
hate to
It could have been this.
give Batman more reason to fear the Kryptonians and like all this technology and
Yeah.
all this shit that they're bringing to
Yeah.
Earth. Have the Doomsday one before.
yeah,
But then I guess you can't kill Superman unless you probably can still kill him and find a way to bring him back. Like, I mean, it's a fucking movie.
yeah.
Figure it out. And then
There's too much going on in this movie. You don't even though the moment where she shows up and the Batman goes, oh shit, and then
Yeah.
you find out she saved him, then the music kicks in.
I love her score.
It's great. Even though that's a really cool moment,
She does have a good score. Yeah,
she doesn't need to be in this movie. Like
She doesn't need to be, but I don't hate her in this movie.
no, she's her performance is amazing. Like she's great throughout.
Mm-hmm.
It's just I don't know. It just feels like if you could have spent that time focusing on Batman.
The
and Superman.
DCEU is so unorganized. Her movie came out after this, the first Wonder Woman.
Mhm.
It should have came out before. Should have been Man of Steel 2, Wonder Woman, then maybe this movie.
Batman vs Superman.
And then you do your Justice League.
You don't do the Justice League yet
Do
because
Aquaman or Flash.
you do
or whatever.
Aquaman, Shazam, all the other movies, and then you earn a Justice League movie where people care about the characters. And the Flash movie, can we get a fucking Flash movie without Ezra Miller?
That's another thing.
That's a Justice League episode, but I hate him too. He's worse than
he's bad.
Jesse Eisenberg.
Really bad. Yeah, so they decide to do the Death of Superman thing, which like fine, I guess. Too soon, but whatever. You're doing it. So then it's just, first of all, I Doomsday has one of the coolest designs of any villain. Like he's just this evolutionary nightmare from Krypton that like, dude, supposedly the storyline from Doomsday is that like he starts, he was like a science experiment.
Starts off in like that onesie.
He literally starts as like a baby basically, and then he dies, and then the point is they keep throwing him out into like the harsh world, and then he keeps dying, and they keep sending him back out there until he eventually evolves to the point where he's unkillable.
Yeah,
he adapts to like everything.
He adapts to everything, which is why he's like this giant rock monstrosity.
Yeah.
First of all, the design on Doomsday sucks.
Think
it sucks. It's if you look at it compared to like the original, like where he's got the rocks coming out of his face. First of all, they had 2 chances at it because he gets a redesign halfway through the fight, and that one sucks too.
Yeah,
it's not a redesign. That was them.
It was him, his body. Like
that was him adapting.
No, I get.
The more they hit him with, the stronger he got, and the more intimidating he got.
My point is like you had a chance to upgrade the look from like a weird tadpole thing to like.
Yeah, it looked fucking weird. Especially when he's first was like conceived or whatever the fuck you want to call it.
Just like really sleek and slimy.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess the things that I didn't like about the movie, definitely Jesse Eisenberg, his portrayal was just like, what were they doing with that? Like, and I like Jesse Eisenberg as an actor, but like, what was like, this wasn't his role. It shouldn't have been his role from the first place. Another thing, I don't know if you guys noticed, and like I get it's Superman's girl, but Lois Lane was saved like 5 different times by Superman in this movie, bro. Like
that's kind of her trope.
Yeah, but it's just like
it doesn't have to be though.
Damsel in distress.
Saved her so many times. It was like it was starting to get annoying.
How many? Let's think it through because I know he saves her
in the beginning, in Africa.
Which, by the way, he kills the fuck out of that African.
I don't have a problem with
that. The only reason I laugh at it is because he probably could have just. I'm thinking when we first saw the movie, I'm thinking like, oh, he's just gonna laser the gun out of his hand.
Yeah,
heat up the gun to the point where he has to drop it or whatever. But instead, he chooses to fucking fly through him. Through like 40, I'm like, oh, that guy's dead as fuck.
Yeah, he broke his back.
I'm like, that guy's evaporated right now. And I'm like, again, I get it's his girl, so he's like more vengeful about it. But like, you didn't have to write it to the point where he
takes him through 5 balls.
Write him in a way where he captures the guy and you see the guy arrested or whatever.
Yeah,
you didn't have to turn him into pudding.
Judicial system's gonna hold that. That's gonna work. Yeah, no, that's not. I mean, not even that. This one guy, they don't cover one henchman is like big enough threat for all that, but I don't know. I don't hate that.
Just less killing. I mean, again, if he kills through like by incident, that's fine. Like if it just by happenstance, but you wrote a scene where he like you put him in that spot, so just write it differently.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying.
But yeah, I just felt like she was. It's like constantly is like he saves her from drowning. He saves her when fucking Lex Luthor pushes her off the building. Like it's just movie,
that's
I forgot he does drop her.
Yeah, it's just it's just like whatever. That's one thing, and then the last thing: how are you gonna have a title of a movie Batman vs Superman and the fight fucking sucked? Like
the fight sucked.
I did not like the fight
really?
at all. I mean, there's a couple cool scenes in the fight, but overall, like it was like what, like a 5-minute scene, and that's the name of the movie. Like,
I think it's more than. I don't think the title implied like a physical fight. I think it means like a clash. Of,
for sure, but like
and
it could have been better than that, in my opinion.
Just the physical fight itself, it's so contrived that where like all Superman had to do was fly above him about 50 feet and say like, hey,
hear me out
here. Give me 6 seconds of your time and it'll be fine. But instead he goes, Bruce, you don't understand. As he's walking towards me, he gets hit with the guns. He's getting frustrated. No, seriously, let me talk right now. It's like, dude, just why aren't you just coming out with it? Like, you're on the clock. Like you showed exactly how much time you had. Like, why are you like not getting to the point directly? Like,
yeah, for sure.
Then he gets to the point. He's like, oh yeah, I do want to beat this guy. I'll just kill this guy. It's like, no, you could have just talked through it.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
No, that's the point of this fight, though. He's not Batman's doing everything he can to kill Superman. Superman's just using minimum force. He could have killed him at any second.
Yeah, but okay. What about the fact that he falls for the fucking kryptonite smoke grenade twice? Like you see him like slowly reload it as Superman like was charging over to him. I'm like, all right, come on, is he dumb? Like you fell for it twice.
Yeah, but he also doesn't really know what kryptonite is.
Still, you fell for it twice.
Yeah.
You should learn after the first one. Like,
Yeah.
But and then again, it's supposed to be like this big clash, like the ultimate gladiator clash of a lifetime, and it's like half it takes place in a bathroom, of like some shitty warehouse, and then like I don't know. It just it should have been so much more epic than it was.
Yeah, it was. I thought the fight could have been like way better than that.
It just could have been designed better. I mean, and then
Well, Superman does have a good line when they first meet after the car chase. He's like, next time you see that light in the sky, don't go to it. And then Batman hits him with the "Do you bleed?"
That was a great line. I wrote that down too.
yeah, I like that.
You will.
You will.
You will.
Yeah.
That was in the trailer. That was awesome. It gave me chills.
Do you guys want to talk about the
When they like size each other up on the Batmobile?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He loses out on the kryptonite because of that. Because
You see Batman slowly rise up like
Yep.
out of the car.
what I love about that
was cool.
scene is like Superman rips the doors off. Like
Well, first the Batmobile just like ricochets off of him.
it's great. Yeah,
That's what
it
causes
ricochets
the
off it.
crash.
He rips the doors off, and then Batman stands right up to him, no hesitation. He like literally sizes him up,
Yeah.
like, all right, what are you gonna do? Like, it just showed like how much of a badass this Batman is. Like he does not step down for shit. All right, do you guys want to talk about the Save Martha scene or Save Martha line?
Yeah,
Probably the most controversial moment of the movie.
Yeah, start it off, Bo.
All right, so we'll paint a picture a little bit, and then we'll dive into it. So they have this huge fight. Superman basically has 5 minutes to explain like why they're fighting, whatever, or why they shouldn't be fighting, and then Batman gets to a point where he's telling him, he's got the spear, and he's telling him this whole spiel about you're not a man, men are brave, or whatever the lines are, and then instead of saying save my mother.
Yeah, that's
For some reason, like, when have you ever referred to your mother in like by her first name, like in the third person, like save Martha, and he goes, why'd you say that name?
Yeah.
Why just blah blah blah? And I'm just thinking like, why? That's such a contrived way to do that. So it's like kind of corny. And then Lois Lane shows up at the perfect time, says that's his mother.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, saves the day there.
And then so just realizing that he has a mother that they both have their moms have the same name, that makes them best friends now.
No, so I think a lot of it, how I justify it is Clark Kent is a good reporter and Superman. So, and before going into this fight, he knows Batman is Bruce Wayne. I think he would have looked into, or just your first Google search of Bruce Wayne is probably Wayne murder, like all about the murder. So he's like, okay, her name's Martha too. Oh shit! Like,
wait,
that's
does he
my
know
mom's.
that? I'm sorry. Does he know that he's Bruce Wayne at this point?
Calls him Bruce when he sees him.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, he does.
I'm sure he can figure it out.
Okay.
And then, so I think right there he knows. He's like, if I want to get through this guy, got to find like common ground or just a trigger word to like snap him out of this fury.
It's a stretch, though. You know what I'm saying?
I know it's a stretch. I'm saying this is how I justify.
No, I
it.
get
This
it.
is what
I get
makes
what you're
this is
saying,
what makes me not hate it.
But the point is, you shouldn't have to. Like,
Yeah.
make
it
that
shouldn't
giant
come to
leap
that.
of
I
logic.
know. I'm just
Yeah.
saying, like, I'll make a lot.
No,
of
that makes
excuses for this
sense to
movie
me. But again, put a line into this 3. It's a 3-hour movie. You could fit a line that.
Yeah, there's a better line somewhere out there.
Yeah. So the justification that I've always kind of seen it as is him realizing that he has a mother. That's what gives Batman his humanity back, and realize, okay, this guy's not just some alien from another world. He was raised in our world.
He actually cares about someone here.
He has that person in his life, like I had my parents. Like he has this person in his life that he cares about, and that anchors him to the world.
You think he's thinking too? Like, I know he's not, because that's not how they set it up, because he does start freaking out. Like, why'd you say that name? Why'd you say that name? It's more about he saw what happened when his Martha got killed and what did to him. He's like, I can't risk the same thing happening to someone like Superman, and then who knows what kind of destruction he'll cause or what kind of breakdown he'll have.
So
I don't know. I don't think that's what he's thinking.
I think you put more thought into that than
anyone.
than they did, than the writers did.
I give them more credit than they deserve.
Yeah,
for
because that again, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But there's no mention of that at all. It's literally just
Yeah.
you're supposed to take it at face value of like. So again, this movie's been out for 5 years now, close to 5 years. You said 2 better theories than I've heard on the internet. Like,
I just made them up.
I know. That's what I'm saying. It's like it shouldn't come to this. It shouldn't take us 5 years to figure that out. Like,
Yeah.
it's a fucking movie. Like, just you don't have to force feed it to me, but give me some more data to extract my own point from. So yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, and then there's some other scene, like the whole Wonder Woman stealing the flash drive of the Justice League. And then they play that cat and mouse game, and then they kind of
That was so
weird. They kind of just like plagiarized the whole Catwoman Bruce Wayne scene from Dark Knight Rises, where they're dancing at a party, trying to act like, sophisticated, and then kind of a little flirty. He does have. He's like, I bet that move would have worked on 9 out of 10 guys, and she goes, "Let me guess, you're the 10th." And he goes, "No, I'm betting I'm the first."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that was like, it's just like that banter, but it's, kind of a rip off of the.
No,
There's a
it's
storm
cool.
coming, Mr. Wayne, and
Again, she's so good in this role that I don't really have any issue with anything she does. But and I did like that moment too, where he's like, "You stole my flash drive thing or whatever." She goes, "It's in the glove compartment of your car."
Yeah,
like I've already returned it.
Yeah.
He's like,
"This isn't about that." Like
she's like, "It's true that boys don't like sharing or something.
Yeah, little boys don't like sharing."
But then Bruce Wayne puts in the email, "Boys do share."
Yeah,
I don't know, that whole email is so crazy.
Cry.
Yeah.
He's like doing it by paragraph. He's like, "Now you have a secret. Who are you?" All caps. I'm like, I don't know. It's just, you could have done that so much cooler.
It shows the World War I picture.
Yeah.
Which again, we talked about, makes no sense in the Wonder Woman 84 movie.
Yeah.
Because it's like, why does so all this shit happened, but there's only like one. She says, "I walked away from humanity 100 years ago."
Yeah, and
So-
there's a huge
It's like, no, you didn't. You came back in
historical
1984.
event that they established in Wonder Woman
Yeah.
84.
This cataclysmic, like, earth-shattering.
I don't want to
event.
talk about this again, but all they needed was like someone to wish. I wish this never happened.
Again, it's
Fuck
just
that
simple
movie.
oversight.
That movie
All right,
sucked.
let's,
Yeah,
we got enough-
let's not
we
talk
got
about the
enough
Wonder
on our
Woman
hands
movies
here.
Yeah.
All right, so
Let me go
what
to my
what
notes
else?
here.
I'm just trying to check if there's other big things that we missed. The whole Zod's body, Lex stealing his fingerprints.
Mhm.
I don't know how accurate or possible that is.
Yeah, I don't know how that
to do.
technology works, but it's
Just
cool.
he just kind of hijacks a Kryptonian ship with ease, relative ease.
Yeah. And isn't there like a line too where she goes, "You don't have access to that," and he goes, "Override?" And then she goes, "Sure."
Yeah, right. Like that's all.
It's just so easy.
But it's cool. Another cool scene is when Batman steals the kryptonite back from Lex, and it's like in like a glass, like, and it's just obviously he broke in, killed how many henchmen, and
Not even henchmen, just security guards.
Yeah, like, just like freelance security guards.
Yeah,
Like
guys
just
probably making
not
like
even
$12 an
doing-
hour.
Not even like
Pay rent.
criminals, just doing their job. Like, but he leaves like the batarang in there.
The guy's thinking like, I gotta move out of Gotham, and then Batman just drops him.
even the batarangs in this movie are like designed to kill. They have like blades.
Dude,
around the
they
edges.
clearly weigh like 6 pounds.
Yeah, they have like
It's like a thick thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
box
Do
cutters.
some
around.
damage.
It's like like you said, like he's throwing like a butcher knife.
Yeah.
basically.
Just like a cleaver at someone.
I'm just looking at my. All right, so you guys want to go through some little like funny little moments we noticed?
Sure.
In the first the black tie tuxedo party, there's a nice little Vicky Vale cameo.
Oh, is there?
Yeah, so the
I didn't
person,
notice
the
that.
blonde, I think she's blonde.
They call her by name, or is it just?
So she introduces Lex Luthor to speak,
Uh-huh.
and he goes, "Oh, thanks, Vicky."
Oh shit!
Yeah, that was cool. The Bruce Wayne. Remember when he goes into the what's the word for that? The mausoleum, I guess would be for his parents' thing, and then like the giant bat
blood?
comes out.
Yeah.
Where the blood's
it's
like
the same
dripping
scene,
out. Yeah. Okay.
I thought that was gonna be. I thought that was like a nice little man bat reference.
no, I
Not
think
literally,
that's-
but like I think that's his way of being like, this is the closest you got to get to seeing man bat.
no, I think it's more of him coming to face with like this monster he created.
Yeah.
Like how far off?
I think it does. I think
how
it could
far
double
off
both.
the path he went, and like how this evil, in quotations, evil Batman has taken over and consumed him.
Mhm.
Like how he wasn't able to keep the Batman in check, and it took over Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, no, I agree. with that.
Another thing too I want to mention was shit, I have it written down. Another good scene. Oh! When he first goes to the Batcave and he looks up at the suit and it turns around and he's just like staring at it. He's like dreading putting it on. He's staring face to face with the bat suit. He's like, I just think that personality split is great to.
I liked how in the Ultimate Edition added a quick shot of Batman's ass in the shower.
Oh, I saw. I had that written down too. Like,
so not necessarily on any level, but it's like he thought he's like, you know what? Put that back in. Put that back in the Ultimate cut.
I love the scarring. Like when he's working out, you see all the scar. Scar tissue around his like chest. Norm, I'm sorry. What were you saying?
Very good. I just have a funny little moment when they're at the black tie party, and Lex Luthor goes up to Bruce Wayne. And he says, "Let's partner. My R&D's up to no good." Like his research and development. I thought that was funny because he was literally working on getting kryptonite so he could kill Superman, and then Batman literally was trying to get kryptonite so he could kill Superman.
I didn't think of that. Yeah.
And then ultimately he ended up stealing it from him anyway.
Yeah.
So I thought that was just kind of funny.
That's kind of cool. Yeah, I didn't think about that. That's kind of cool. Do you guys notice that in the Batcave, everything hangs from the ceiling?
Because like a bat?
Like a bat would?
No, that's cool.
I didn't notice that.
No.
So nothing's actually like touching the ground. Like all of his computers, they all hang from like these little.
Oh, I didn't put that together.
Did you guys like that? He's not like in the classic like old Wayne manner. He's like has his own like new house,
like a separate penthouse. Yeah.
One thing I wanted to point out that's like kind of sad to say is that like it's so obvious how much more passion Affleck has in this performance than he does in like the Whedon Justice League.
Yeah.
Oh
like,
my god.
You can just tell like he's actually like trying here, and the Whedon one he's like kind of like bloated because he was going through like rehab and shit at the time, and like
they didn't write it well either. They didn't write
no,
Batman
but I'm
well.
just no, it wasn't obviously not, but
It's
like
too colorful.
Just his whole like demeanors, like his whole you see this passion in his eyes, like when I love that moment when he's telling Alfred like he's like this could be my legacy. He's like this could be the only good thing I've ever done.
Yeah.
Like he's like criminals are just they're gonna keep popping up. Like there's gonna be another Penguin, there's gonna be another Riddler or whatever. He's like, if I like stop this and like save the world, this will be the only thing I've ever done that really matters.
Yeah.
And he's like he says, like if there's even a 1% chance.
Yeah, I was about to say that was a great line because he makes a good fucking point. He's like, if there's a 1% chance Superman's bad, like wouldn't we need something ready?
We have to take that as an absolute certainty.
Yeah, and I was like, damn, that's a good ass line.
It plays into his paranoia too. It demonstrates that, which Batman's known for. And then Alfred has a good line too. He's like, "Oh, I missed the days where all we had to worry about were wind up penguins, or was it wind up ducks or something?"
Wind up penguins, whatever.
Yeah. All right, and then I feel like we didn't talk about the Capitol building attack.
Oh yeah, that was
where everyone blows up and they show Superman just there. He just looks like he's like, I can't catch a fucking break.
Yeah,
like you can just tell he's feeling it.
He didn't even help like rescue everyone that was in there. They even say it in the news little clip. They were like, Superman was helping, but then he just left.
He left.
Yeah,
he saw Lois, and then I feel like he's just like, I need to get out of here.
Yeah,
I'm doing more harm than good to these people. And everyone there that are like tailgating the thing or whatever it is.
Yeah,
they have like signs calling him and protesting, basically just calling Superman an alien, just adding to the theme of the first movie, Man of Steel. Like, does he belong here? Like, should I be interfering as much with everyone? Even though like most of the stuff he's been doing, there's no like, just no one's not benefiting from it. Like, he's just saving people. Like, he's not like causing destruction.
It's just that fear that
it's just like his
has.
presence,
his
overwhelming presence is just lingering and making people uneasy.
It's his presence, but it's also the fact that there's no failsafe if something does happen. Another thing they cut out for some unknown reason, like some ridiculous reason, is in that scene where you see him saving people. Like, they cut that out of the original cut, of the original theatrical cut.
Which scene, when he's saving people from the Capitol, or when he's saving people from
the Capitol? So in the original one, it blows up and you see him fly away.
Yeah.
So which, okay, obviously bad look.
That's the media.
Yeah, not a great PR move. But then in the other one, you see him fly the lady out, and the medic talks to him, like, "All right, thanks, but I need some space here." Like, yeah, that's for some reason they took that out. I have no idea why.
Yeah, that does change everything. Because that's how I remembered it, and I rewatched the uncut one. I'm like, oh, he's doing his part. I mean, like, he's trying. It's like, how much can you fault the guy? And then, like, with him leaving like that, it looks like he caused the explosion. Initially, like, it looks like he did it. But then, in this one, if he did caused the explosion? Why is he staying to help people?
Yeah, for sure.
So see how that changes how you perceive it.
That's like just like you said, but like, why would they cut that out? Like,
why would you cut that out?
It literally gives like substance and makes sense for the plot.
And was it at a minute and a half?
Not even.
It's less than a minute.
It's like I think like
I would have added more. I would have made it 3 minutes of him saving people.
Multiple people,
Yeah,
right?
like not more than one. Like one lady with like a head injury.
So what do you? Now let's get back. Do you have more funny things you picked up, or
Yeah, so I mean, I got a couple more funny things. There's too much of this movie that's just looking through computers.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like one woman with the email. There's Bruce Wayne encrypting the thing. Maybe we'll cut
you want
this
to talk
part
about
out.
the Flash?
No.
Which amounted to nothing.
Yeah, which amounted to. We'll get to. We'll come back to that. But at the end of Batman and Superman's like climactic battle, or whatever, they had the whole Martha moment and like this big moment, and then Batman gets into the bat plane to go get Superman's mom,
Batwing.
the Batwing, and then even Alfred goes, yeah. So I didn't mean to listen in, but yeah, so Martha's in this building, whatever. Even he ignores what just happened. He's like, all right, so now that you're done, okay, so I took the liberty of marking your new dossier. You know what I mean? Like, so like even he's like, he doesn't even acknowledge. Like you would think he'd be like,
how'd it go? How you
like,
feeling?
Yeah.
Any broken bones?
Yeah, he doesn't acknowledge the fact of, oh wow, what are the odds? He has the same name as his mother had the same name as yours. He's just like,
or you just fought a god in a fist fight
and won.
kicked his ass.
Like,
He's just like,
fucked him up.
Alfred's popping champagne in the back.
his first line is, so anyway, I didn't mean to listen in, but this is where you want to go next on your. I put it on your map. Like he doesn't even acknowledge it. I'm like, even he realized how stupid that fight was.
I thought it was when he does go to save Martha Kent. I thought it was pretty funny how he's like, I'm a friend of your son's. But it was funny, like it was a funny line. But at the same time, I'm thinking like, you just tried to kill this dude like 10 minutes ago. Like, and now you're yeah, that's what I'm saying. But it's just like little things like that, man. It's like,
and she plays into it too. She's like,
I figured
the cape.
Oh, yeah, the cape. Yeah.
I thought that was kind of funny though.
No, yeah,
it's funny.
For Diane Lane,
but like, like I said, like he just tried to kill Superman 10 minutes ago, and now he's calling him his friend.
I like that they included the line of.
I think that was just him trying to like ease her. Like he didn't know how, like if she would be like freaking out, and because like he is Batman, so like he looks scary. You know what I mean? So I think he was just trying to like let her know that he's a good guy.
Yeah, I'm a friend of your
He's not exactly dressed like a good guy.
I like how going back to the training montage. Like his body's sick in that. I mean, the weight he's pushing is fucking insane. Like,
dude, he's doing pull-ups with the
180 pounds.
Yeah.
That's fucking nuts. Like,
I can barely do a pull-up with my own
barely
body
do a
weight.
pull-up.
He's got chains.
Yeah, that was a cool montage. When
it was awesome.
Made me want to go to the gym. Honestly.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah.
He's fucking ripped.
I like that they included in the Doomsday fight at the end. Fortunately, the work day is over, so the downtown area is nearly empty.
No one works overtime in Metropolis.
No one works past 5 p.m.
No one has an apartment. Like
no one's out drinking.
Yeah.
Norm, meanwhile, is sleeping in his cubicle.
Yeah. I like that they included that just like because Zack Snyder got so much shit for like the death toll in Man of Steel. He's like, don't worry, not that many people died.
We handled it.
Yeah.
But I feel like they do make an attempt to like get him out of the city. Don't they like try to take him to like that abandoned dock?
Yeah, but then he takes him back to the city.
Takes him back.
Yeah, which at least even Wonder Woman goes, why'd you bring him back to the city? And then he's like, oh, well, I got the kryptonite here.
Yeah.
Fucking sick. Just dive out for a bit and come back.
Yeah, I'm like, just leave him there. Like, you'll find him again.
Or how sick would it be if, I don't know, maybe you had a sidekick? Like, I mean, Jason Todd's dead, so Dick Grayson's running around somewhere. Unless he's in Bloodhaven.
Somewhere, yeah.
It's just like, then this all happened so fast. But there was news coverage of Doomsday. You don't think Nightwing's like, maybe I should see
it all happened so
Bruce
fast. I don't know.
Well, also then we're getting into like, they didn't cast anyone. Okay.
So
someone else you're adding to the movie.
So when the military sees that Superman and Doomsday, so Superman does the right thing. He flies them straight up.
Yeah.
And they go into
They
space.
nuke them.
And they nuke them.
That was a cool scene. I like.
Love that.
Maybe I'm thinking too deep into this. Probably cut it out. You just shot a nuke off in like the air, like the atmosphere. Wouldn't that just rain?
I was
down,
thinking the
like,
same thing. I think that would
cancer?
definitely happen. Yeah.
Would that have like lasting effects of like?
Not if it breaks the atmosphere. I feel like it would all be pulled out into space in the vacuum.
Would it?
I don't know how far up they got. I'm not a scientist. We could have Neil deGrasse Tyson on the show. But
they cut to the like the little diagram of them like it was like the fake city or whatever, and they had him like high up enough, but still, it was just like I was thinking the same thing, but I was like, that would definitely like come back to Earth and fuck a lot of shit up.
Yeah.
Well, that's the same as
You're just raining down cancer. At that
Yeah.
point.
I mean, that's the
Like,
same thing as Dark Knight Rises, where he just
I was just gonna bring that up.
But also too, in the Dark Knight Returns comic book, when they nuke Superman, it sets off an EMP across like the whole country, so all electronics go down because of the nuclear explosion. So I think something like that could happen. I don't know why they didn't go with that.
Yeah.
I guess because then the military doesn't play a part in like taking down Doomsday or something.
Also, what was like when he was in space when he got like knocked out or whatever? His like face was like deteriorated, like looked like he was like a skull.
Yeah, he got drained, and then he floats into the sun, and then he gets the sun.
Oh, that's okay. That's
so
okay,
the sun
that makes
gives
sense.
Superman's powers, and like,
Yeah,
his
yeah.
cells absorb it.
Okay,
all,
that makes
and
sense.
So now he's back at full strength.
Yeah, but I was just at first I was like, he doesn't have like a regenerating power. Like
it's the sun.
the sun is his regenerative.
no, I
power.
mean that makes sense, but I'm saying like he was never like the one to like lose an arm and it grows back or some shit. You know what I'm saying?
No, which Doomsday can.
Yeah,
do,
he
man.
can do that
Yeah.
shit. But yeah, I mean that makes
I don't know.
more
You
sense.
think if Superman lost an arm and he flew up to the sun, it would grow back?
I don't know.
Take a guess.
No.
I would say no.
I would say no too, but it could.
I mean he's Superman.
He is Superman. A couple more things. I thought she was at the U line makes absolutely no sense.
Yeah, Batman literally just talking to her.
And
what?
You
The what
literally
line?
brought. What's that?
What line?
Remember, she comes down and saves Batman, and then like all three of them next to each other, and I forget what she says, but
Oh, and
Superman turns about and he goes, "Is she with you?" And he goes,
I thought she was
Batman's
with
like,
you.
"No, I thought she was with you." It's like, "No, you didn't. You
Met
brought
her.
You brought her
twice.
out here. You
Yeah,
recruited her."
that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
It's like, what do you mean? I thought you. No, you didn't. Like,
Yeah, I never really.
It was like kind
never
of funny, but it
really.
was stupid. It was like
It's funny, but when you think about it for more than a
yeah,
second, you're like,
exactly.
makes
I
no
was thinking the
fucking
same
sense.
thing, bro.
Yeah, that. Okay, now that you ruined that line for me because I never put more thought into that line
Yeah.
than this.
No, it
but-
makes no sense at all.
Yeah, because he knew who she was. They had a whole.
He's the reason she's there.
They had a whole.
He
instant
brought her out of
message
retirement.
conversation.
They were
Yeah.
talking on AIM.
Yeah. So Clark dies. Superman dies. It's a really kind of sad moment. You see the pain when Wonder Woman has to like. She sees it and Lois runs over, and the Wonder Woman's kind of the first one who gives her like that look of like I'm sorry.
Yeah, he's
Like no one says anything,
Yeah.
but it's like
yeah.
it's this really kind of poignant moment that they all pull off really well. So they have the two funerals, the two separate funerals
Yeah.
for him. The Clark gets a funeral, and then Superman gets the military funeral,
Yeah.
and then Wonder Woman has that line of they only know how to mourn him one way as a
Yeah.
soldier,
Yeah, that was cool.
which is cool. And it was a really cool touch of instead of the 21 gun salute, it's like the 21 cannon salute.
I didn't even really pick that up. That's
Yeah.
funny.
What they do?
Instead of like at like military funerals, they do the
Mhm.
21 gun salute.
Yeah. So how
This
did
was they did with like gigantic cannons
Oh.
because he's like an ex,
Yeah.
he's Superman.
Mhm.
I thought a cool moment at first when I thought it was kind of dumb the first time I saw it was when Lois is at Martha Kent's house, like they're both mourning,
Mhm.
and then Martha walks in with the package,
Oh yeah.
and it's like Clark had this sent here.
So you wouldn't find out.
No, he had this sent here so he could surprise you or whatever. Like it's the engagement ring. My first initial thought is like, he had it sent in the mail. I'm like,
fly it there
just
yourself?
fly it there, yeah. But then I thought,
I
I'm like,
didn't
why
think
would you
of
risk that getting lost in the mail? Like,
Not only that,
but then I thought of it, and I'm like, maybe he wanted it to come from Clark and not Superman. You know what I mean? Like, have the gesture come from
Exactly.
his human side. So he had it sent through snail mail, basically.
Yeah.
Instead of just like flying, he could have flown it there and flown it back. In a
because what
second.
that does, it's a romantic gesture. Like that wasn't easy. Like it was like you did it the hard way to show like a sign of
he wanted it to
an
come
act
from
of
his
service.
from his human side. Yeah.
It's like the scene in Harry Potter when Dobby dies. Harry refuses to. He insists on digging the grave by hand with a shovel instead of using magic, just to show that
okay,
extra
yeah.
respect. Like I want to like put my effort into this and feel this. Like so, I feel like when something as important as getting engaged to Lois or proposing to Lois, he wants to like put that effort in and know what it means to really do that and not just have things done easily.
Yeah, that makes sense.
yeah.
Muggle Madness coming soon.
So then, last couple things here. The funeral happens, and then obviously we see the dirt rise or whatever. which is cool, I guess.
Like levitates a little bit.
Yeah,
and then
which I didn't really get because if he's dead, like why?
It doesn't pan out with how they actually
And how they-
resurrected him.
yeah,
'Cause
exactly.
they make it seem like he's going to come back on his own,
Like
like,
he would
his
yeah.
own merit.
And then that's not what happens.
It's
at
not,
all.
he's dead.
Yeah.
He's literally dead
Yeah.
when they bring
Yeah,
him
he's
back. So it
I
doesn't
think it
make
was maybe
sense.
just more of just like a little thing that he's gonna come
like
back.
a teaser to the
Yeah,
fans.
but
Like,
it's
hey,
just
don't
like-
get too.
practically.
Meanwhile, Marvel's dusting off half their cast and like
Yeah.
is like
Yeah.
they're dead guys. No hope.
Yeah.
Sit on this.
So the final kind of cool scene is Batman in the prison, which
yeah.
the warden. It shows that like the warden and the guard are on his
We're in
side
on it,
because
yeah.
they set it up for him to where all right, turn around, and then when the lights go off and all this shit, they even added the extra theatrics of turning the lights off for him and all this.
yeah.
The red
It was
light
like-
too.
yeah.
Yeah.
Changed the light.
My
bulb.
thing was how fast are the warden and that dude? They got out of there quick.
They did.
They wanted no parts.
yeah,
They did
bro.
not have to do the paperwork for
Yeah.
that.
Which again brings me back to the original point of like, was Batman having those people murdered in prison? I guess not because they're on his side. The prison's on his side.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
trust him.
So I don't know. I'm still not really clear on
Yeah.
that, but yeah, he says like Lex is like, "Oh, I got out of it. I'm too crazy to stand trial, or whatever." He's like, "No, I had this arranged that you're gonna Arkham.
Yeah.
And everywhere you go, I will watch you,
Mhm.
and I'm gonna be on your ass the rest of your life." And you have this. You see this. Lex goes from being in total control to be like, "Oh fuck!" Like,
Yeah.
No, then he gives him the bell has been rung speech.
afterwards.
Yeah, and his head's shaved at this point too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what
Which
I-
finally.
This movie needed Jim Gordon. I think it could have benefited from that.
Good.
Just as much emphasis they put into the bat symbol, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
like
I
they
could-
could have just
yeah.
had it like one interaction with him because now he's going into the Justice League movie. He's going to be in the Justice League movie, and we see Jim Gordon for the first time. And again, there's no mention of him even in this movie,
No.
which it's just like a universe building thing. Like have it all there.
Yeah.
And then with Lex saying the bell has been rung, like again, that didn't lead to anything.
No, I think he was talking about because I don't know if you saw it, like when they go to arrest Lex when he's still in the alien spaceship, he was talking to the dude that comes in.
Steppenwolf.
Yeah, Steppenwolf. He was talking to him, or like it was like a picture of him.
He
And I think
was looking through the archives of
Yeah.
seeing like what else is out there.
Yeah, and I think that's what he meant when he was talking about Steppenwolf.
But again,
coming.
they cut that Steppenwolf part out of
yeah,
the original
yeah.
cut. So him saying the bell's been rung means nothing in the original version.
Right.
Why would you cut
in
that
the
out?
original cut, I'm pretty sure after the credits is Lex like escapes. He's on a boat and like Deadshot comes.
Yeah.
That's,
Or
in the,
Deathstroke,
that's in the
yeah.
Justice League movie.
Oh, that
Oh,
is
that's Justice League?
Yeah.
Okay.
okay, that makes sense.
And then what I think they were going for with Lex, like, again, this is similar to like a Jar Jar Binks type theory where you introduce a goofy character and then the hopes that he turns into a badass, like the dark Jar Jar theory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Like the
I think
opposite
what
of
they were
Yoda.
trying to do, which they just gave up on, and now they look like assholes. But if they had another movie where, all right, now Lex has been bested by Superman and Batman. He shaves his head. Now he's not just playing, bored rich kid who wants to start a fight. Now he has a personal vendetta against these guys. So he's head shaved. Now he gets more serious and stern and mean going forward, like a character development thing. So now he's turned into the Lex Luthor we're all used to.
He drops the awkward act.
Right.
The goofy act,
Right.
yeah.
He stops playing games. He's like, this is personal now. This is serious. You guys put me in prison.
Like
you
like
guys-
Yoda. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So now I feel like they just gave up on that. I like to think that's what their intentions were. So looking back, we would say, okay, they set it up. So like now there's a reason for his character development to get like this. But now it's just looking back, you're like, this is fucking stupid. Why did they
Yeah.
cast him?
Yeah,
I think there was a deeper character arc being played at
That they were
initially,
trying to do.
that they were trying to get to, and they just
They
gave up
fucking
on it.
bombed.
Well, we might see it in the Snyder cut.
I guess
He's gonna be in it. Probably.
Is he?
Dude, it's a 4 hours. I mean, they definitely fit Lex in there a little bit.
Okay. All right. Well, I hope so. I hope I'm right with that.
Yeah, dude. If Joker's gonna be in it, then Lex has to.
Yeah.
Luthor has to be in it, right? Yeah. Any final thoughts before we get to the final segment of the show?
This movie got way too much shit for no reason. I think it was just you call a movie Batman vs Superman, it's going to have unreachable expectations.
Yeah.
And in any other movie, the shit that people nitpick and hate about this one, they get overlooked because you expect. I like this movie. I still like this movie a lot. I think it was just released at the wrong time and poor organization by DC and fucking Jeff Johns. But I still would give it like a 7 out of 10.
Yeah. I just think that I think releasing it in the original cut that it was a big mistake.
Yeah.
Terrible mistake.
If your original intention is, all right, we made this movie too long, first of all, you know how long a movie's going to be before you shoot it. Like, don't make a 3-hour movie. Like, take some stuff out and make it so you don't have to cut out.
Yeah.
Like, don't film 3 hours worth of shit and then cut it down to 2.5. Like, film a 2.5-hour movie.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same thing. Well, it's not the same thing with Justice League, but if you just made this movie like more concise and made it 2.5 hours, but made it make sense, and there wasn't half an African storyline, there wasn't half of a Superman guilt or whatever, Superman,
Capital
storyline. You gotta have it make more sense.
Yeah.
We could have this big like epic movie of like the final showdown, and like just make it just the two of them. Like just make it your two biggest characters.
Yeah.
Just focus on them for 2.5 hours, and you can make like you can make a really, really good movie.
Yeah.
It's hard to mess up.
Yeah, it's hard to mess up, but ultimately, I like this movie every time I watch it. The ultimate cut. If you're gonna watch a version of it, you gotta watch the 3-hour version.
Yeah.
7.5 7.5 out of 10.
Okay.
Norm?
Yeah, I would go with. I would give it a 7 out of 10 as well. Like I said in the beginning, I thought this movie had great potential. It had some really, really, really good scenes, but just like you just said, I mean, it wasn't fluid. Like stuff didn't make sense until we saw the final cut or the Ultimate Edition. Like it had potential. It didn't hit the mark. I'm gonna stick with that.
Cool.
What's your rating?
I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10.
Dick
All
Rider.
right. Do you guys want to do the?
I just wanted to talk about we talked about a little bit about the fight scene in the warehouse. Like that scene was awesome. I have it written down. Like, so I loved when the one dude opens the door and has the grenade. He kicks the dude that's hanging into that dude. He's supposed to die. Dude, I was laughing. It was fucking hilarious when he like takes his grapple gun and throws the box at that dude. Hits his head off the back of the wall and you see the blood splatter. I'm like, bro, this is Batman. Like he's just straight up murdering.
Leaving no doubt for the guy just being unconscious.
Just beating the shit out of these people, bro. Like when I saw the blood splatter, I was dying. I was like, this is
I
fucking
love that
hilarious.
punch through the ground though.
Punch to the ground is
Love
awesome
that.
too.
It's so satisfying
Yeah.
to watch. Like it's just such a smooth punch.
The one dude unloads his whole gun and then breaks out his knife and Batman just
Yeah, that's
beats
another
the
thing
shit
too.
out of him.
They made his cowl bulletproof.
His what?
His cowl.
Oh yes. I mean, I
Again,
thought his
another
suit
cool
was
thing about
bulletproof.
Batman is he's ninja like. He can't get hit. When instead they just made him a tank where he just
They made him like
Eats
he's
everything.
bulletproof
he doesn't
and-
have to
yeah.
avoid that. Like he doesn't have to be stealthy. He'll take it.
I just prefer the stealth.
I do
stealth
too.
Batman, yeah.
I do too. Like he's a man. Like you know what I mean? I don't know. I like it.
He was
Though.
trained by ninjas.
I like it though. At
It's-
this
and
point,
instead of this one, he was trained by fucking Ivan Drago. Or
but I
something.
like it. I like it at this point in his career where okay, maybe he did find a way to make bulletproof because he knows he's been slowing down. Like he added extra precautions.
Well, wasn't
Say that then. Add that line.
Wasn't the Dark Knights like those movies? Wasn't that one bulletproof?
No, dude, he broke it with a hammer. Remember when he was testing them out and he like Bane just like stomped on it too in the third one and cracked it.
But yeah, but I mean that doesn't mean it's not bulletproof though.
They're not bulletproof. He got them.
'Cause
He
no.
bought them in bulk from Japan.
I'm pretty sure because remember he was
No, but remember he has to keep buying them in bulk so he can get the right one.
No, I know. He kept buying them in bulk so it didn't raise suspicion.
Nah, because remember when he's like becoming Batman and Lucius Fox is like, yeah, this is the suit, but they didn't want to spend all this money on a soldier. And,
That's
like,
the suit. And he says like it'll protect you from like knives and
No, it's the opposite. Because remember he gets stabbed with a knife at the end of Dark Knight Rises.
I'm pretty sure that. I'm pretty sure.
bulletproof.
yeah,
but it's not
but that's
knife-proof.
because he switches to the new suit where it has more spacing,
Oh,
so
okay.
it's more flexible. So you
I
can
don't know,
move quicker.
I always thought it was bulletproof.
It's not bulletproof. Maybe.
I don't know, man.
All right, let's do
Was there
this.
something you could say? Or was that the warehouse? Was the last?
Yeah, it was just the warehouse scene.
Oh,
I just
yeah.
wanted to touch on that.
Yeah, it's a great scene.
I like how he takes over. He goes in drone mode or whatever he calls it. He's like, sensing 20 hostiles in the third floor. I'll drop you off at the second.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
But even that scene starts off with he disarms all he puts like the little EMP things on all
Yeah.
their guns.
Yeah,
So I'm like, oh cool, he's gonna figure out a way to neutralize the situation and then become like a ninja and take them down one by one. It's like, no, he just fucking blows through their skulls like, with his fist. Like,
beating the shit out of these people.
he does.
Fine with it. If they just explained why
Yeah.
he's doing this.
Yes. Now for our final segment of the podcast, we like to do every week. We have a segment called Supervillain Slander, aka the Storm and Norman Super Showdown. Norm is 0 for 2.
Winless.
So first episode we had him. It was our Far From Home episode. We had him take on Quentin Beck, also known as Mysterio. So Norm went into that battle against a bunch of drones with a baseball bat, a wooden baseball bat, and lost. The second episode we had, it was our Man of Steel episode. Norm took on General Zod of Krypton and was swiftly blown away by the Kryptonian laser beam.
Medieval flail and all.
Yeah, Storm had a medieval little ball and chain thing with kryptonite, but still not enough. And for this episode, we have two main villains of Batman v Superman. Lex Luthor, average wuss of a man, billionaire, but no physical training to speak of. And we also have Doomsday, the man who, or the creature who killed Superman.
The creature who killed Superman. Norm's going to avenge.
I got your back, Superman.
I think we go with Lex for this one.
All right, so
let's get you in that win column. Let's see if we.
Yeah,
can.
let's see if we can
try. You really have to sell us on why you can beat Lex Luthor, aka Jesse Eisenberg.
Now, again, the parameters are twofold. One, Norm chooses the location of the fight, and two, Gav and I choose Norm's weapon going into this fight. So, what do we think for this one? We had a baseball bat,
medieval flail.
A medieval flail. What can we
I'm going brass knuckles.
Brass knuckles.
I think that's enough.
Do I even need a weapon for Lex?
You're gonna want them. Why not?
This is a fight to the death still.
It's fight to. They're all fight to.
I think it's gotta be something that like Norm doesn't know how to wield. So I think it's like if you give him like nunchucks or something.
All right, let's go to nunchucks.
Because if it's just Norm versus Jesse Eisenberg with a bat, like that's obviously he's gonna win that.
All right, now what does Lex Luthor have? A gun.
So this is a lame version of Lex Luthor. So he doesn't have his
Jesse Eisenberg, Lex Luthor.
He doesn't. No, he just has his white suit and his jeans.
Okay.
All right. Well, I'm gonna fight him.
Oh, where
might have a switchblade.
Give us the location.
I'm gonna fight him right at his little dinner party in front of everyone.
Oh my god, nice. Dude! Go with the basketball court.
Nah, bro. I'm gonna beat him up in front of his own people at his own party after he gave that stupid ass speech.
All right. No security guards are allowed to get involved.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's do that. Everyone has to watch. Schoolyard rules. Everyone makes a crowd, circles around you guys.
Is Bruce Wayne still there watching?
Everyone's there.
Remember, there's that scene in the movie where Bruce Wayne is at that fight. He's at that little bare knuckle fight. And he whispers something in the guy's ear and he wins.
Yeah,
like Portuguese or something.
So Bruce Wayne's not going to help you out. He's just going
to. Everyone's just spectating. They might as well not even be there, but they are. And circling around you guys, cheering, placing bets on the side. And you have a nunchuck. He has a shitty attitude.
And a checkbook.
Shitty attitude.
And a checkbook. I feel like he needs something.
What was that?
Can you be bribed?
Nah, I'm here to kick his ass.
Okay,
strictly.
This is personal.
Take the money.
Wonder Woman's there too, so whatever that means.
I gotta look good in front of Wonder Woman.
Gotta.
I feel like that's a better advantage than nunchucks.
Yeah. Wonder Woman's watching. I gotta kick this dude's ass.
Lex has a switchblade.
Yeah, no, it's got to be something to do with the character. He doesn't have.
You don't think he carries around protection?
He doesn't.
No, I don't think he does. I think he's so.
He's got a Jolly
confident.
Rancher. That's what he's.
He's got Jolly Rancher.
He's got a pocket full of Jolly
Ranchers. He's throwing him out.
He's got a pocket full of Jolly Ranchers. All right, so you guys meet in the middle.
Watermelon ones too. They're gross.
You guys charge at each other, and Lex's first move, he tries to gently put a Jolly Rancher in your mouth.
I'm slapping the shit out of his hand.
Okay.
All right, so that's where we start the fight. Norm slaps Jolly Rancher.
That's how the fight initiated. He tried to put that shit in my mouth.
Then you call him.
And I was not having it. Yeah, so I pulled the nunchucks out of my suit because I brought them with me. Don't leave without my trusty nunchucks.
And you're wearing a suit?
Well, it's a black tie event.
Yeah, it's a black tie
gotta
event.
look good, especially if fucking Wonder Woman's gonna be there. Yeah, so I mean, you guys seen Jesse Eisenberg? He's a little bitch. He's not big at all. Doesn't know how to fight. I am a good fighter. I got hands.
Heavy hands.
Yeah, heavy hands. So I don't really think it's much of a competition. I don't even think I gotta really break this down for you guys. Like 1, 2, and I got the nunchucks, bro. Like I don't even need the nunchucks.
Yeah, but you're gonna be flying around like an idiot.
You gotta kill him.
You're gonna hurt yourself more with the nunchucks than anything. You ever see those videos online of like there's like
Someone
clearly not trained dudes with the nunchucks that get themselves in the fit? Like
they're heavy too.
Yeah, they're heavy as shit.
Damn.
Yeah.
No,
the thing is, what you gotta worry about somewhere down the line, I'm sure Lex has been trained for personal protection. Like he
I
knows.
don't know, that's an assumption, bro.
It is an assumption, but he's a billionaire
Nah, for sure.
CEO. He has to know some kind of like self-defense.
What do you think? Fucking Bill Gates was taught MMA. Like, what do you mean? What
He
does
probably
that
does
go there?
jujitsu at the very
I
least.
don't think he does. He doesn't have time for jujitsu.
Either way,
All right.
your number one goal right here is do not give up possession of the nunchucks.
Nah, I'm gonna lose possession of my nunchucks.
You gotta remember too, it's to the death. So how are you gonna kill him with nunchucks?
All right. So first, I'm gonna hit him across the face with the nunchuck.
okay.
I'm assuming he'll be on the ground at that point. That probably hurts like a motherfucker.
Don't do all that Ninja Turtle bullshit. Don't try.
Nah, I'm not.
You're just gonna embarrass yourself.
No,
know-
but see, my theory is I'm going to cut you off there because I think once you get like a little bit of advantage, the hubris is going to kick in.
Uh-huh.
He's going to say, "All right, Diana Prince is over there, Wonder Woman." He's going to start trying to like show it off.
Yeah.
I think he's going to hit himself in the back of the head.
Start doing like some
Knock himself out.
Yeah,
Some,
Nor just
like-
knocks himself out.
some like Oberyn Martell shit and start. You say it. To get my head fucking destroyed. But nah, I mean,
Start gloating.
I think it'd be pretty quick. Like I said, nothing too fancy. A couple spins,
Yeah.
hit him in the face, get him on the ground, and from there, I mean, I'm just gonna keep. If it's to the death, like I said, just keep fucking hitting him with it.
No, how you want to kill him is
I can even choke him. I
That's
can
what I was
choke
gonna
him.
say. They
Yeah.
have the chain. Just get
No,
it
that's what I'm
around
gonna
his
do.
neck.
I'm gonna get him on the ground and then come up from behind him, choke him.
Yeah, that's what you gotta do.
And then
it's the quickest way.
That's a wrap. It's over.
It's the least gruesome way. It's what you gotta do. I give Norm this one. Jesse Eisenberg is only 5'7". I just googled it.
Oh, bro. He
Yeah,
probably
so
weighs
really-
like 160.
Soaking wet.
Soaking
yeah.
wet. Like it's a wrap.
And he's going to be in that stupid just like jeans and white tux.
Yeah, that would just make
Yeah, jeans
Chucks
and white
wearing
blazer,
Chucks.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
think Norm just got his first win.
Drop a comment down below. Who
Oh, what do
you think
you
wins
think?
this one? I think once you notice that Wonder Woman's in the crowd and Batman's there too, you're like, oh, you're gonna think in my head like I can get recruited. for
Auditioning to
Batman.
be the next
Like,
Robin.
Yeah, you're gonna take it. You're gonna start treating it like an
Here's
audition.
my huddle, Batman. Beating the shit out of Jesse Eisenberg.
Batman, my highlight tapes on YouTube, and he fucking hits himself in the back of the head with the nunchuck.
I'm giving Norm his first win.
1 and 2.
I give it to Lex Luthor. Leave a comment down below who you
Damn.
think would win this,
Damn, split.
and
That's the show.
that's it.
It's a wrap.
All right, thanks everyone. Drop a comment down below. You can find us on Instagram at @the_super_podcast, YouTube, Spotify, anywhere podcasts are sold. And be sure to tune in next week for our Justice League episode. All right, thanks everyone.
Thank you.